Imagine being thrown in jail for something you didn't do, just because you're black and poor. This is the story of Elijah, a young immigrant with nothing, who faced the worst injustice. But life has a funny way of turning the tables. Meet Elijah Mensah. He's 19, fresh from Ghana, living in a cramped Detroit apartment with his aunt and 3 cousins. He's got big dreams but a small life right now. By day, he scrubs dishes at a diner, grease and soap stinging his hands. At night, he studies at a community college, learning about engines and dreaming of becoming a mechanic. He's quiet, keeps to himself, and sends half his paycheck back to his mom in Accra. Elijah's not here for trouble. He's here for a future. Now meet Senator William Branson. He's 55, a big-shot politician with a mansion, a private jet, and a smile that wins elections. He's been in the Senate for years, always talking about cleaning up crime to get votes. His campaign's in full swing, and he needs a headline to make people cheer. He's powerful, connected, and untouchable. Or so he thinks. Elijah and Branson? They're worlds apart. One's a nobody scraping by. The other's a kingmaker calling shots. But one cold November night in Detroit, their paths cross, and nothing will ever be the same. It's 10 p.m., and Elijah's walking home from his night class. His backpack's heavy with books, and his eyes are tired, but he's humming a song his mom used to sing. The subway station's a few blocks away, and the streets are quiet except for the hum of distant cars. He pulls his jacket tighter against the wind, thinking about the diner shift he's got tomorrow. Then he hears it shouting. Up ahead, near the subway entrance, 2 men are arguing. One's tall, wearing a dark coat, waving his arms. The other's shorter, in a hoodie, yelling back. Elijah slows down, staying in the shadows. He's not stupid. Fights like this can turn bad fast. He figures he'll wait till they move on. The argument gets louder. You owe me, the tall man snaps. The shorter one shoves him, and suddenly they're swinging fists. Elijah steps back, heart racing. He's about to turn around and find another way home when the tall man bolts, running past Elijah like a ghost. Something shiny falls from his pocket, glinting on the pavement. The shorter man curses and takes off in the other direction. Elijah freezes. The street's empty now, just him and the echo of the fight. He glances at the ground. A silver chain and a cracked phone lie there, abandoned. He doesn't touch them. He's not getting involved. He starts walking again, faster now, wanting to get home. But then, red and blue lights flash. A police car screeches to a stop, and 2 officers jump out. Hey you! One shouts, pointing at Elijah. Don't move. Elijah stops, hands up. I didn't do anything, he says, his voice steady but his stomach twisting. The officers don't listen. They're on him in seconds, patting him down. One picks up the chain and phone from the ground, holding them like evidence. This yours? He asks. No sir, Elijah says. I was just walking home. I saw 2 guys fighting, and they ran off. The officer snorts. Sure you were. They cuff him, the metal cold against his wrists. Elijah's mind races. He tries to explain, about his classes, his job, how he's never been in trouble. But the officers aren't hearing it. They shove him into the back of the car, and the door slams shut. At the station, things get worse. They book him for robbery. Robbery? Elijah's never stolen a thing in his life. He tries to tell them about the fight, the men who ran, but no one cares. He's just a kid from Ghana with no money and no connections. They toss him in a cell, and the heavy door clangs shut. The next morning, Elijah's name is all over the news. The headline screams, African immigrant caught robbing local man. The story says he attacked a respected citizen near the subway, stole his chain and phone, and got caught red-handed. Elijah stares at the tiny TV in the jail's common area, his heart sinking. That's not what happened. But who's going to believe him? Then he sees the name of the respected citizen. It's Senator William Branson. The article says Branson was heroically standing up to crime when Elijah ambushed him. There's a photo of Branson, all polished and serious, talking about how he'll keep Detroit safe. Elijah's mugshot is next to it, his tired eyes and messy hair making him look guilty. Elijah's aunt visits, tears in her eyes. We'll fix this, she says, but her voice shakes. They can't afford a lawyer, and the public defender assigned to Elijah barely glances at his file. Just plead guilty, the lawyer says. You'll get less time. Elijah refuses. He's not guilty. But the system doesn't care. Days turn into weeks. Elijah's stuck in jail, waiting for a court date that never comes. His boss at the diner fires him. His college drops him for missing classes. His cousins stop visiting, too busy with their own lives. Elijah feels like he's disappearing, but he doesn't break. He reads the Bible his aunt left him, finding comfort in the stories of people who faced impossible odds. He talks to God in the quiet of his cell, asking for strength. And he keeps his head down, staying out of fights with other inmates. One guard, a guy named Mike, notices how Elijah never causes trouble. "You're all right, kid," Mike says, slipping him an old car repair manual. Elijah devours it, sketching engine parts on scraps of paper. It's the only thing that keeps him sane. Meanwhile, Senator Branson's campaign is soaring. The robbery story's a goldmine. He's on TV every night, talking about how he fought off a dangerous criminal, and how he'll crack down on people like that if re-elected. Voters eat it up. His poll numbers climb. Nobody questions his story. Not the reporters, not the police, not the public. Why would they? He's a senator. Elijah's just a name in a headline. But the truth has a way of lingering, even when it's buried. Elijah's not guilty, and deep down, Branson knows it. The senator wasn't even at the subway that night. The victim was a random guy, paid off to say it was Branson's chain and phone. The whole thing was staged, a dirty trick to make Branson look tough on crime. Elijah was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, a perfect scapegoat. As Elijah sits in his cell, staring at the ceiling, he doesn't know any of this. All he knows is that his life's been stolen, and nobody's listening. But he's not giving up. He clutches the repair manual, promising himself he'll get out. He'll clear his name. He'll build something better. And somewhere out there, Senator Branson's living large, unaware that the kid he framed is stronger than he thinks. Their story's just beginning, and it's going to twist in ways neither of them can imagine. Let's check back in with Elijah Mensa. He's still 19, stuck in a Detroit jail cell, his dreams of becoming a mechanic fading like a sunset. He's a good kid, works hard, studies late, never messes with trouble. But now he's labeled a thief, all because he was in the wrong spot when two strangers fought and ran. The silver chain and broken phone they dropped? Somehow there is crime. And the man behind it all. Senator William Branson, the powerful politician who needed a tough on crime headline to win votes. Elijah's just a pawn in his game. Branson's living high. He's 55, charming the cameras, shaking hands at fancy dinners. His campaign's on fire, thanks to the story of him fighting off a robber. Nobody questions it. Why would they? He's a senator with a perfect smile. Elijah's just a name in the papers, another criminal locked away. But Elijah's not giving up, even as the world forgets him. This is his fight, and it's only getting started. Elijah's cell is cold, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones. The mattress is thin, the blanket scratchy, but he doesn't complain. Complaining won't get him out. He spends his days pacing, 5 steps one way, 5 steps back, trying to keep his mind sharp. The other inmates talk loud, fight over nothing, but Elijah stays quiet. He's not here to make friends or enemies. He's here to survive. His aunt comes by every Sunday, her face tired but hopeful. "We're praying for you," she says, pressing her hand against the glass. She brings him a Bible, its pages worn from her own reading. Elijah holds it like a lifeline. He reads about Job, who lost everything but kept his faith. He reads about David, who faced giants with just a sling. If they could do it, Elijah whispers to himself, so can I. Weeks turn into months. No trial, no hearing. His public defender, a guy named Carl with too many cases, barely knows Elijah's name. "Plead guilty," Carl says at their second meeting, flipping through papers. "You'll get 2 years, maybe less." Elijah shakes his head. "I didn't do it." Carl sighs, like he's heard that before. "Kid, the system doesn't care. You're fighting a senator." Elijah's stomach twists, but he holds firm. Pleading guilty means admitting to a lie. It means letting Branson win. He can't do that, even if it keeps him locked up. So he waits. And waits. His job at the diner's gone. His boss couldn't hold the spot. His college classes? Dropped. His cousins stopped visiting, too busy with school and jobs. Even his aunt's visits get shorter. She's working double shifts to cover rent without Elijah's help. The loneliness hits hardest at night. Elijah lies on his bunk, staring at the cracked ceiling, wondering if anyone outside remembers him. The news has moved on. Branson's face is still on TV, but Elijah's story is old now. African immigrant caught robbing local man was a headline for a day, then forgotten. Elijah feels like a ghost, but he's not invisible to everyone. Mike, the prison guard, notices him. Mike's a big guy, maybe 40, with a laugh that echoes down the hall. He sees how Elijah keeps his cell tidy, how he reads instead of starting fights. One day, Mike tosses him an old car repair manual. "Heard you like engines," he says. "Don't let this place dull your brain." Elijah grabs the book like it's gold. The pages are greasy, the corners bent, but it's a piece of his dream. He reads about carburetors, spark plugs, timing belts. He sketches diagrams on napkins, memorizing how parts fit together. When he closes his eyes, he's not in a cell, he's under a car, wrench in hand, fixing something broken. It keeps him going. Mike starts bringing more books, even lets Elijah fix small things in the prison kitchen. A leaky sink, a stuck drawer. One day, the warden's old Chevy won't start. Mike sneaks Elijah out to the parking lot. "Show me what you got," he says. Elijah pops the hood, checks the battery, and finds a loose wire. 10 minutes later, the car roars to life. The warden's impressed, but doesn't ask questions. Mike winks. "Told you, kid. You're good." These moments are small, but they're everything to Elijah. They remind him who he is. Not a thief. Not a headline. A guy who fixes things. A guy with a future. Outside, Senator Branson's world is golden. His campaign rallies pack stadiums. He talks about keeping our streets safe, pointing to Elijah's arrest as proof. The crowd cheers. Reporters nod. Nobody digs deeper. The real story, that Branson wasn't even there, that the robbery was a setup with a paid-off witness, stays buried. Branson's team made sure of it. A few $1,000 to the guy in the hoodie, a quick call to the right cop, and Elijah became the perfect fall guy. Young, poor foreign. Who'd believe him? But cracks are forming, even if Elijah can't see them. A new public defender, a woman named Sarah, picks up his case after 2 years. She's young, hungry, and not like Carl. She actually reads the file. No fingerprints on the chain or phone. No witnesses who saw Elijah do anything. The victim's story, supposedly Branson, falls apart under scrutiny. Sarah's furious. "This is a disgrace," she tells Elijah at their first meeting. "We're getting you out." Elijah wants to believe her, but hope hurts. He's been burned before. Still, Sarah fights. She files motions, calls reporters, even tracks down the guy in the hoodie, who's long gone. It's not enough for a trial. Branson's too powerful, but it's enough to get Elijah released. After 2 years and 3 months, the charges are dropped. No apology, no explanation. Just a guard opening the cell door saying, "You're free." Elijah steps into the sunlight, his aunt waiting with tears in her eyes. But freedom isn't what he thought. Detroit knows him as that thief. No one hires him. Old friends cross the street when they see him. The news never corrects the story. Elijah's name is poison. So he leaves. He takes a bus to Cleveland, changes his name to Eli Johnson, and starts over. He works under the table at a repair shop, fixing cars for cash. He's good, better than good. Customers notice. Soon, he's fixing neighbors' cars, then delivery vans, then buses. He saves every dollar, lives in a one-room apartment, and buys tools instead of clothes. By 30, Eli owns a repair company with 50 workers. He's respected, successful, quiet. But the past never leaves. Every time he sees a police car, his heart races. Every time he hears Branson's name, still a senator, still powerful, he feels that old anger. He doesn't talk about it. He just works, builds, gives jobs to kids like he was kids the world overlooks. Elijah's not the scared 19-year-old anymore. He's a man who turned pain into power. But he knows life has a way of circling back. And somewhere, Senator Branson's still out there, unaware that the kid he framed is waiting for fate to deal its hand. Elijah Mensah, now 30, is no longer the scared kid from Ghana who got framed for a crime he didn't commit. He's Eli Johnson now, a successful businessman in Houston, running a repair company with 50 employees. He's built a life from nothing, turning pain into purpose. But the scars of his past, 2 years in a Detroit jail, his name dragged through the mud, never fully fade. He keeps his head down, works hard, and stays out of the spotlight. Then there's Senator William Branson. He's 65 now, still rich, still powerful, but his shine's starting to dull. His campaign for re-election is struggling, and the voters aren't as charmed as they used to be. He's used to getting his way, always one step ahead. But he's about to come face to face with a ghost from his past. A man he doesn't even remember, but one who'll change everything. 10 years after Elijah walked out of jail, their worlds collide again. And this time, Elijah's not running. It's a hot Houston afternoon, the kind where the air feels like a wet blanket. Elijah's in his office, a clean, modern space with big windows and photos of his team on the walls. He's reviewing contracts when his secretary, Maria, knocks. "Boss, we got an urgent call," she says, her voice tight. "Private jet broke down at a small airstrip outside town. Guy sounds desperate. Wants us there now." Elijah frowns. He doesn't do field work anymore. His team handles that. He's got managers, mechanics, a whole crew for emergencies. But something about Maria's tone makes him pause. "Who's the client?" he asks. "Some politician," she says, checking her notes. "William Branson." Elijah's heart skips. For a second, he's 19 again, hands cuffed, lights flashing, his life slipping away. William Branson. The man who framed him for votes. The man who never looked back. Elijah sets his pen down, his face calm but his mind racing. "I'll take it," he says. Maria looks surprised but nods. He grabs his toolbox, climbs into his truck, and drives to the airstrip. The whole way, he's steady, focused. He's not sure why he's going himself. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe it's something deeper, like fate pulling strings. Either way, he's not scared. Not anymore. The airstrip's a dusty strip in the middle of nowhere, just a runway and a small hangar. A sleek private jet sits stranded, its engine hatch open. A few crew members stand around, looking lost. And there, pacing in the heat, is Senator William Branson. He's older now, hair grayer, face lined, suit wrinkled from the Texas sun. He's yelling at his assistant, a young guy who's sweating through his shirt. "Get this fixed." Branson snaps. "I'm late for a rally." Elijah parks, steps out, and walks over, toolbox in hand. His team's already there, starting diagnostics, but Elijah waves them off. "I got this," he says. They step back, confused but trusting. Branson doesn't notice him at first, too busy barking orders. Elijah kneels by the jet's engine, his hands moving like they've done this 1,000 times. He checks the fuel lines, the wiring, the turbine. It's a mess, overheated, maybe a clogged injector. Fixable, but it'll take work. Branson finally turns, wiping sweat from his brow. "You the mechanic?" he asks, voice sharp. Elijah stands, meeting his eyes. Branson's taller, but Elijah's presence is steady, unshakable. "Yeah," Elijah says. "I'm the mechanic." There's a flicker in Branson's face, like he's trying to place him. "You look familiar," he says, squinting. "Where you from?" Elijah's jaw tightens, but his voice stays even. "Detroit, originally. Been a while." He pauses, then adds, "You don't remember me, but you ruined my life once." Branson freezes. His assistant looks confused, but Elijah's team is watching, quiet. The air feels thick, like a storm's coming. Branson laughs, nervous. "Ruined your life? Come on, pal, I meet a lot of people." Elijah steps closer, not angry, just clear. 10 years ago. Subway station. You said I robbed you. Got me locked up for 2 years. No evidence, no trial. Just your word against mine. Branson's face changes, color drains, eyes widen. "Wait, the kid, the robbery case." He trails off, memory clicking. Elijah can see it. The senators piecing together that night, the lie, the payoff. But Elijah doesn't flinch. He's not here to beg or yell. He's here to work. "You never let me speak," Elijah says, his voice low but firm. "You needed a headline. I was just a kid walking home." Branson stammers. "Look, things get messy in politics. I didn't mean." "Didn't mean what?" Elijah cuts in, zero in, calm but sharp. "To take 2 years of my life? To make my family think I was a criminal? To make sure nobody would hire me after?" He shakes his head. "You didn't even know my name." The assistant shifts, uncomfortable. Elijah's team stays quiet, but they're listening. Branson's sweating now, not just from the heat. I'm sorry," he mumbles, but it's weak, like he's testing the words. Elijah doesn't respond. He turns back to the jet, grabs a wrench, and starts working. His hands are steady, precise. He's not here for an apology, not yet. He's here to do his job. The team joins in, following his lead. They replace a faulty injector, clean the lines, test the systems. Branson watches, silent, like he's seeing Elijah for the first time. Hours pass. The sun's dipping low, painting the sky orange. The jet's engine hums to life, smooth and strong. Elijah wipes his hands on a rag, steps back, and nods to his team. "Good work," he tells them. Then he looks at Branson. "You're good to go." Branson's assistant starts to pull out a checkbook, but Elijah raises a hand. No charge, he says. Branson blinks, confused. What? You fixed my jet. You gotta take something. Elijah's smile is small, almost sad. I didn't come here for your money. I came so you'd remember the face of someone you thought didn't matter. Branson doesn't know what to say. He climbs the jet's stairs, slow, like he's carrying a weight. Elijah watches him go, then turns to his truck. His team packs up, and they drive back to Houston, the city lights glowing in the distance. Elijah doesn't talk much on the way. He's thinking about that night in Detroit, about the years he lost, about the man he's become. Back in his office, he sits at his desk, staring at a photo of his mom and aunt. He wonders what they'd say if they knew he just fixed the senator's jet for free. His mom would probably laugh, tell him he's too soft. His aunt would pray, thank God for his strength. Elijah just feels done. Not with anger, not with pain. Just done carrying it. But this isn't the end. Branson's on that jet, flying to his next rally, Elijah's words stuck in his head. The senator's not used to being called out. Not like that. And Elijah? He's not done building, not done fighting for kids like he was. Their story's got one more turn, and it's coming fast.